Very good afternoon to one and all, and I welcome you all for the next lecture of heat transfer. Whether my voice is audible and can you see my presentation? Please let me know in the chat box. Great. So in the last lecture, thank you. So in the last lecture, we have discussed the critical radius of insulation or critical thickness of insulation, and we have completed that particular point very successfully with two problems on the topic. Okay, particular bit. And today we are going to start our new point or new concept in this particular chapter. So that is nothing but heat conduction with internal heat generation. Heat conduction with internal heat generation. Up till now, we have discussed there is steady state heat transfer with no internal heat generation and one dimensional heat flow. So all the problems up till now for all the application, that is nothing but wall, that is nothing but cylinder and sphere, we have discussed all the problems or all the theory parts for without heat generation. Okay, for without heat generation, or the application or the object does not generate any kind of a heat. Such a problems we have solved, and we have discussed the theory part related to that. Okay, so today in this lecture we try to understand what is meant by heat generation. Okay, and how it is useful uh, to understand the heat generation and control over that particular heat generation. Okay, so heat generation means what? Any any product or any device which consumes another form of a energy and generate the heat. Okay, which consume another form of a energy and generate the heat. So such a devices we called as a heat generation devices. Okay, such a devices we can say that devices are nothing but what? The heat generation devices. Okay, take the simple example of our press iron. Okay, uh, so press iron is one kind of a device which consume electrical energy and converted it into a heat energy, and which will be useful to press the cloths. Okay, so in that particular press iron, if you have seen, or if you done the if you iron your clothes by using old fashioned press irons. Okay, old fashioned press irons. So one button was there for old fashioned press irons. Okay, not so long, uh, uh, intermediate. Okay, so previously there was coal fired press irons were there. Okay, by using the coals, uh, we can or the people were performing that particular activity. But in the mid of that, okay, so now all the press irons are automatic one. Okay, so when they reach to the extreme temperature level, they will cut off the electric supply to the heat generating devices, or that particular heater. Okay, and then it will be controlled. But previous to that, there was one button for the press irons, and when it uh, goes beyond the limit, we have to switch off that particular button, and then we press the iron. Okay, so it was semi-automatic, or we can say that the automation was not there, and we have to do manually switching on and switching off the electric current, or that particular press iron. So why we need to do that? Because we need to control the heat generation in that particular device. Okay, we need to control the heat generation in that particular device. Now the that particular press irons are become, and that particular concept of controlling pick up by the companies, and automatic press science uh, are coming into market, and we are using now that automatic press science. So simply we need not to worry about the heating temperature about the press iron. We have to set up this temperature according to our clock, and that switching on and off of electricity work will be performed by that particular device only. Okay, so here why I'm providing this example at this particular point, because we need to understand that how much it is important to control the heating of any device. Okay, how much it is important to control the heating of any device. Okay, similar fashion, take the another example that if you are using any desktop or laptop, okay, so fan is provided in that particular PC. Why it is provided? So the heat is generating inside the devices, and uh, the need of that particular instant to remove out the heat from the devices. Okay, so that the temperature of the devices will maintain proper. Okay, will be maintained properly, and the functioning of devices will run smoothly. So that it is necessary to provide the fans in a PCs, to provide the some heat removing devices in a laptops. Okay, one of the heat removing device is most famous heat removing device, that is nothing but heat pipe, which is called as one kind of a heat exchanger. Heat pipe, heat exchanger is used in a laptop. Okay, so it is prime important to remove out the heat from the devices. Okay, or to control, to have a control over the devices, uh, over the heat generating devices. Okay, some of the examples, extreme examples, if you want to know, here I have listed some of the example, that is nothing but fuel rod in a nuclear reactor. Okay, fuel rod in a nuclear reactor. So when you start the reaction of a fuel rod in a nuclear reactor, okay, so at that I think you have visited to nuclear power station also, so you'll know very well that how much it is important to control that particular chain reaction. Okay, or else if you're not able to control that chain reaction, your plant will not run, or that particular nuclear reactor will not run properly, and there may be chances for the accident. Okay, then electrical conductors. Electrical conductor means what? The devices which are used to used for the transformation of electricity from one place to another place. Okay, so the wires are there, transformers are there, and different kinds of devices which are used for transporting the electricity from one place to another place. So all that particular devices will be considered as the electrical conductors. Okay, so in that case also, as we know that when there is a resistance for the electricity flow, then that particular electrical current will convert into a heat energy. That particular electrical current will convert into a heat energy. Okay, so there also we need to perform this controlled action. Okay, there also we need to perform this controlled action, and we should know how to control the generation of heat in that particular location. Then if you take the example of our automobile bikes, okay, or cars, or any automobile engine, where the chemical reactions are happening, and the heat energy is produced, and which will be used to run the bikes or run the cars. Okay, so there also we have to control this combustion process. Okay, because it is also one kind of a heat generation process. It is also one kind of a heat generation process, and the combustion is very we can say that it is a part of a design. Always it is a part of a design, and it should be design is in a such a manner that how much efficiency we required from that particular engine, and how much heat is generated after combustion of particular amount of a fuel in that particular combustion chamber of internal combustion engine. Okay, then another simple example we can take as a drying and setting of a concrete. We know that during building manufacturing, or we can say that at the time of doing the concreting of any floor or the slab. Uh, After completion of that, after 3 to 4 days, we are doing one activity that is nothing but spraying of water over that particular concrete. Why we are performing that particular activity? Because during the setting of a concrete, that particular concrete generates the heat. That particular concrete generates the heat, and we have to remove out that heat from the concrete to avoid the further consequences like due to the temperature difference there may be crack in that particular concrete. So to avoid that consequences, we have to remove out the heat, and so that we are performing one activity that is nothing but spraying of water over that particular concrete. So these are the examples, simple examples or large point of view. I have provided some examples. You can correlate this point with any type of example where the heat is generating, device is consuming some amount of electrical energy or chemical energy, and that device generating the heat, or that particular object generating the heat, will be considered as a heat generator. Okay, will be considered as a heat generator. Okay, there are a number of examples. If you take the example of your kitchen gas chegdi or gas LPG gas, so there also we need to control that particular flow of LPG gas towards the chegdi, we can say that. Okay, so we required that controlled knob. Okay, so in a similar fashion, in case of electrical application, we require to control the flow of electricity, so that the as per the requirement, the electrical energy will convert it into a heat energy. So finally, I want to say that the energy generation is one part, and the controlling of that particular energy generation is another part. Okay, sometimes it is very much easy to generate the energy, but it is very much difficult to have a control on that generated energy, okay, or generated heat. Okay, so that it is of a paramount importance or more importance that the heat generation rate to be controlled, otherwise the equipment may fail. Okay, otherwise the equipment may fail. Some of the examples we can say that what happen if you will not control that particular flow or that particular heat generation, then the nuclear accidents may be happen. Okay, then electrical fuses blows off. We know that if more electric current will flow, the fuses we are using for the home appliances also, so that particular fuses also blows off. Okay, so these are the examples we can say that, or the consequences will happen if you will not control the heat generation for the device. Then thus in the design of thermal system, temperature distribution within the medium and rate of heat dissipation to the surrounding assumes ample importance and significance. Okay, so while designing any device, there is more importance we have to provide for this particular point. That is nothing but we have to design this device by perspective of a thermal energy. Okay, by considering the thermal aspect of that particular product. Okay, by considering the thermal aspect of that particular product, so that we can take the example of IC engine. Okay, so or automobile bike engine. So fins are provided over that particular cylinder. So why it is provided? At a minimum time, a maximum heat should be distributed to the surrounding. Okay, at a minimum time level, or we know that there is constraint for the engine to increase the area. We'll discuss that particular point in a fin also. Our next chapter is extended surfaces. So in that chapter also we'll discuss that point, no problem. But here I want to say that we have to make suitable arrangement for the dissipation of energy to the medium. Okay, and we have to design the product in that particular manner by concentrating on controlling over the heat generation, by concentrating on controlling over the heat generation. So for that purpose, the temperature distribution in that particular device or product and the heat transfer rate having more importance. Okay, temperature distribution and heat transfer rate from device to surrounding, or within the within that particular product is having more importance. Getting everyone? What is meant by heat generation? Is there any doubt, any question about this particular point? So please note down you heading as heat conduction with internal heat generation. 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 Write down next line. Some examples where some examples where some examples where heat conduction, heat conduction and heat generation and heat generation is going to take place is going to take place are first one, fuel rod dash nuclear reactor, fuel rod dash nuclear reactor. Fuel rods are used in a nuclear reactor. Have you seen fuel rod at Tarapur? Have you seen fuel rod? What is the size of that particular fuel rod? Do you know what is the size? I think it is hardly 10 to 15 centimeter. Okay, fuel rod size 10 to 15 centimeter, and such a small component or a small material can generate ample amount of energy, which can be uncontrollable. Okay, fuel rod in nuclear reactor. Then second one, electrical conductor. Second one, electrical conductor. Electrical conductor. Third one, chemical and combustion process. Chemical and combustion process. Fourth one, drying and setting of concrete. Drying and setting of concrete. Drying and setting of concrete. Fourth one is drying and setting of concrete. Fourth one is drying and setting of concrete. Next line, write down, it is of paramount importance. It is of paramount importance. It is of paramount importance that the heat generation rate, that the heat generation rate, that the heat generation rate to be controlled, to be controlled, to be controlled. Otherwise, the equipment may fail. Otherwise, the equipment may fail. Otherwise, the equipment may fail. Full stop. Example, some nuclear accidents. There are n number of examples about the uncontrolled combustion or uncontrolled heat generation. Okay, so one of, we can say that short circuit. Short circuit is one of that particular example. So some nuclear accidents, from an electrical fuses blows out. Electrical fuses blows out. And if you have seen the transformer in Marathi, it is called DP. So in that one DP oil is used. Oil is used, and it is very hot while performing, or it is in working condition. When it is in working condition, so a transformer contains oil, and which is used to control the heat generation in the transformer. Okay, and we know that the large transformer having large plates are attached to that particular transformers. Okay, or n number of plates are attached to that particular transformer. So that particular plates are used as a fin. Okay, or extended surfaces, which will increase the surface area and which will increase the heat transfer rate. Okay, so example, some nuclear accident, electrical fuses blows out, etc. Thus, in the design of thermal system, thus in the design of thermal system, thus in the design of thermal system, temperature distribution, thus in the design of thermal system, temperature distribution within the medium, within the medium, and and rate of heat dissipation, and rate of heat dissipation, and rate of heat dissipation to the surroundings, to the surroundings, to the surroundings, assumes ample importance oblique significance, assumes ample importance oblique significance. Okay, getting everyone? Is there any doubt, any question? Now write down the next point, plain wall with uniform heat generation. Plain wall with uniform heat generation. Plain wall with uniform heat generation. Give the heading, plain wall with uniform heat generation. Okay. Plain wall with uniform heat generation. Draw this simple diagram. Okay, so I will give the explanation about this diagram. So wall is considered over here, and the left side vertical face of that particular wall is considered as a y-axis, and it represents the temperature change, or temperature. It represents the temperature, and the bottom line or the bottom side of that particular wall represent the x-axis, which represent or that particular x-axis represent the variation of thickness of the wall or the thickness of that particular wall. Okay, so and we have considered over here one element in that particular wall. Okay, one element in that particular wall. So and this wall is or the every part of that particular wall is generating the heat. Okay, so the generation of heat per unit volume per unit time, we will consider it as a Q suffix G. Okay, then the left corner of the wall, we have to consider the thickness at this particular point, x is equal to 0. Okay, and at the end of the wall, the thickness we have to consider it as a x is equal to L. Okay, so x is equal to L, and the total thickness we have to consider as L of that particular wall. Okay, and the thickness of wall is having less dimension, or we can say that as compared to other dimension, the thickness is smaller as compared to other dimensions of a wall. Okay, then one face of that particular wall is maintained at a T1 temperature, other face of wall is maintained at a T2 temperature. Okay, other face of that particular wall is maintained at T2 temperature. So in case number one, we are going to consider the both the faces of the wall are maintained at its same temperature. In case number one, we are going to consider that both the faces are maintained at the same temperature. That is nothing but T1 is equal to T2 is equal to TW. That is the wall surface temperature. TW is the wall surface temperature. Okay. Now this particular element is considered at a distance of x meter, from the origin, at a distance of x meter from the origin, and the thickness of element is dx. Thickness of element is dx. Okay, thickness कितना है element का, dx इतना है. अब now this we know that the all parts of wall or all each and every element of this particular wall generates the heat. So obviously this particular element is also generating the heat, and the heat generation within the element we are going to consider it as a Q suffix G. Element heat generation we have to consider it as a Q suffix G, capital Q suffix G. Now the heat entering inside the element at a distance of x meter from the origin, we have to consider it as a Q suffix x. Okay, Q suffix x, and the heat leaving this particular element is, we have to consider it as a Q suffix x plus dx. We have to consider it as a Q suffix x plus dx. So energy balance equation will be Q suffix x, that is the heat entering in the element, plus heat generation in the element, that is Q suffix G, is equal to heat leaving the element, that is nothing but Q suffix x plus dx. Okay, so in this manner we have to proceed for the derivation. Okay, in this manner we have to proceed for the derivation. So draw neat and clean diagram, give appropriate nomenclature, and at the end of first case, okay, at the end of first case, we have to derive that the maximum temperature we will achieve at the middle of wall. Okay, at the middle of wall or at the middle of thickness of wall, so that this graph is plotted. So maximum temperature, if the condition is, what is the condition? T1 is equal to T2 is equal to TW. That is nothing but one side surface temperature is similar of other side surface temperature, and which is equal to wall surface temperature. That is nothing but TW. Okay, if you consider that thing, we will get the temperature profile in this manner. We'll get the maximum temperature, T max temperature, at the middle of wall. So middle means what? Whatever the thickness of that particular wall is there. So at we have considered that thickness is L. So that maximum temperature we will get at L by 2. Okay, at L by 2. So we have to prove that. We have to prove that, or we have to derive that. How we will get that particular maximum temperature. And what is the value of maximum temperature? Value of maximum temperature, then heat transfer rate, and at what place we are getting, or at what point we are getting the maximum temperature. These things we have to derive in this particular point. Okay. So have you drawn the diagram? Please comment in the chat box whether you have drawn or not. You required more time. Or shall I move ahead? Okay, great. Now write down, consider explanation about the diagram. Write down the explanation about the diagram. Consider a plain wall of thickness L. Consider a plain wall of thickness L. Consider a plain wall of thickness L, capital L, in bracket small in comparison with other dimensions. In bracket small in comparison with other dimensions. Small in comparison with other dimensions. Bracket complete. Of uniform thermal conductivity. वॉल की थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी कैसी है? यूनिफॉर्म है. ओके, कांस्टेंट है. ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी के, यूनिफॉर्म थर्मल कंडक्टिविटी के and in which heat sources are uniformly distributed. Heat sources are uniformly distributed, and in which heat sources are uniformly distributed. Heat sources are uniformly distributed in the whole volume. In the whole volume. In the whole volume. Consider a plane wall of thickness L, in bracket small in comparison with other dimensions, bracket complete, of uniform thermal conductivity K, and in which heat sources are uniformly distributed in the whole volume. Let the wall surfaces are maintained at temperature T1 and T2. Let the wall surfaces are maintained at temperature T1 and T2. Full stop. So this is about the diagram. Okay. Now next, let us assume that heat flow is one dimensional. Let us assume that heat flow is one dimensional. Let us assume that heat flow is one dimensional. Under steady state condition, and there is a uniform volumetric heat generation, within wall, and there is a uniform volumetric heat generation within wall. Full stop. Next point. Consider an element of thickness dx. consider an element of thickness dx, consider an element of thickness dx, consider an element of thickness dx at distance x, from left hand face, of the wall, okay, from the left hand face of the wall, full stop. Okay, so we have considered one element here also. This is the element which is shown in the figure also. Now this element is having thickness of a dx, okay, which is placed at a distance of x from the origin, okay, or from the left hand face, in the wall. Okay, so now heat is entering inside the element we have considered as q suffix x. Okay, heat is entering inside the element from the left side, we have considered it as a q suffix x. Okay, so that heat conduction in heat conduction in element heat conduction in element at a distance x, okay, so heat conduction क्या रहेगा, element में heat conduction हो रहा है लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से, तो वो कितना हीट कंडक्शन हो जाएगा, अकॉर्डिंग टू फोरियर्स लॉ, heat conduction in the element will be given as minus k multiplied by a multiplied by dt divided by dx, getting everyone, minus k multiplied by a multiplied by dt divided by dx, that will be our equation number 1. Okay, that will be our equation number 1. Write down heat conduction in element at a distance x, heat conduction in element at a distance x, q suffix x is equal to minus k multiplied by a multiplied by dt divided by dx. Okay, so this equation we have come to know by Fourier's law for heat conduction. Then now that particular element is also generating the heat. Okay, that particular element is also generating the heat. Now heat generation per unit volume per unit time, we have seen this particular term in case of general heat conduction equation, that is q suffix g. So q suffix g is nothing but heat generation per unit volume per unit time. So we required only capital Q suffix g, okay, where capital Q suffix g is nothing but heat generation per unit time. Okay, heat generation per unit time. So वॉल्यूम निकालना है हमें, so वॉल्यूम हमें इस टर्म से निकालना है, तो उस टर्म को वॉल्यूम से मल्टीप्लाई करना पड़ेगा. So volume of wall is nothing but what? The area of wall multiplied by its thickness. Okay, length multiplied by width, that is nothing but area, and multiplied by thickness, that is LW multiplied by thickness T, if you say that, or A multiplied by dx. Okay, so area multiplied by dx will provide you volume. So we can write the heat generation per unit volume per unit time will be equal to area multiplied by thickness, that is nothing but volume. Area multiplied by thickness will be provide you volume. Volume multiplied by heat generation per unit volume per unit time. Heat generation per unit volume per unit time, that is nothing but q, small q suffix g. So give this equation number 2, where q suffix g is equal to heat generated per unit volume per unit time in the element. Heat generated per unit volume per unit time in the element. Write down this heat generation in the element. उस एलिमेंट का थिकनेस कितना है, उस एलिमेंट का थिकनेस है dx. ओके, सो एरिया तो वही रहेगा कैपिटल A, perpendicular surface area for the flow of heat. So we can say that Qg is equal to A multiplied by dx multiplied by small q suffix g, where write down where small q suffix g, small q suffix g, small q suffix g is equal to small q suffix g is equal to heat generated per unit volume per unit time in the element. Small q suffix g is equal to heat generated per unit volume per unit time in the element. Now हीट कितनी अंदर आ रही है वो हमने बता दिया, Q सफिक्स x अमाउंट ऑफ हीट अंदर आ रही है और उसका इक्वेशन भी हमें मिल गया, और उस एलिमेंट में हीट कितनी जनरेट हो रही है उसका इक्वेशन भी हमें मिल गया। अब उस एलिमेंट से हीट बाहर कितनी जा रही है वो निकालना है। ओके, उस एलिमेंट से हीट बाहर कितनी जा रही है वो निकालना है। तो सिमिलरली हीट कंडक्टेड आउट एट द डिस्टेंस x प्लस dx, ओके, एट अ डिस्टेंस x प्लस dx। ये डिस्टेंस x प्लस dx क्यों लिया हमने? यहाँ पे x डिस्टेंस पर हीट अंदर आ रही है, okay, because element will start at the x distance, from the x distance, okay, from origin, whereas heat out कहाँ से हो रही है? वो x distance plus thickness of that particular element, उस पोजीशन से हीट बाहर निकल रही है। तो हीट कितने डिस्टेंस से बाहर निकल रही है? x प्लस dx डिस्टेंस से बाहर निकल रही है। ओके ओके, यहाँ पर हम देख सकते हैं। सो हीट कौन से लेवल पर अंदर आ रही है? तो हीट अंदर आ रही है x डिस्टेंस से अंदर आ रही है, ओके, एलिमेंट में अंदर आ रही है। और बाहर कहां से जा रही है? x प्लस dx डिस्टेंस से बाहर निकल रही है। ओके, हीट कहां से बाहर निकल रही है? थिकनेस ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर एलिमेंट एंड इनिशियल प्लेसमेंट ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर एलिमेंट in the coordinate system, that is x plus dx, so that we can say that heat is leaving the element at a distance x plus dx. Heat is leaving the element by conduction at distance x plus dx. So write down similarly heat conducted out at a distance x plus dx is at distance x plus dx is, okay, so that heat conducted out of the element, for that particular heat transfer we have provided the nomenclature as q suffix x plus dx. Okay, we have provided the nomenclature q suffix x plus dx. So q suffix x plus dx will be equal to q suffix x plus differentiation of q suffix x with respect to x मल्टीप्लाई बाय dx। यहाँ पे क्या हमने ले लिया है? कितनी बाहर निकलेगी हीट? ओके, जितनी अंदर आई है उसमें से कुछ ज्यादा और कुछ कम। ओके, कुछ ज्यादा और कम। सो जितनी अंदर आई है उसमें से ही कुछ ज्यादा बाहर निकलेगी और नहीं तो कुछ कम निकलेगी। ओके, सो दैट जो इनिशियल हीट है, जो अंदर आई हुई हीट है, उसमें से ही बदल होकर बाहर निकलेगी। So we have to differentiate that q suffix x with respect to dx and we have to multiply with dx. Okay, we have to multiply with total thickness of that particular element. Okay, so initial अंदर आई हुई हीट और उसमें कुछ जो चेंज हुआ है वो चेंज हमने डिफरेंशिएशन लेके यहाँ पे पुट अप किया है। सो जितनी अंदर आई है उसमें से कुछ ज्यादा या और कुछ कम हीट बाहर निकलेगी। ओके, सो जो इनिशियल हीट है उसका ही हमने डिफरेंशिएशन लिया है और उसको थिकनेस ऑफ एलिमेंट से मल्टीप्लाई किया है। सो हमें बाहर निकलने वाली हीट मिल जाएगी। सो q suffix x plus dx, q suffix x plus dx will be equal to q suffix x plus dx will be equal to q suffix x plus differentiation of q suffix x with respect to dx multiply by dx. Okay, differentiation of q suffix x with respect to x multiply by dx. Okay, Is there any question, any doubt? So provide this equation number 3. Provide this equation number 3. Okay. फर्स्ट इक्वेशन है अंदर आने वाली हीट, सेकंड इक्वेशन है जनरेट होने वाली हीट, थर्ड इक्वेशन है बाहर निकलने वाली हीट. ओके, गेटिंग एवरीवन? So we can write the energy balance equation for that particular element. We can write energy balance equation for that particular element. So write down energy balance on the element of thickness dx is given by energy balance on the element of thickness dx is given by energy balance on the element of thickness dx is given by. So क्या रहेगा एनर्जी बैलेंस इक्वेशन? अंदर आने वाली हीट प्लस जनरेट होने वाली हीट इज इक्वल टू बाहर जाने वाली हीट. ओके, इज इक्वल टू बाहर जाने वाली हीट. ओके, सो वी कैन राइट द एनर्जी बैलेंस इक्वेशन एज Q suffix x plus Q suffix g is equal to Q suffix x plus dx. Q suffix x plus dx. Okay, so all the values for this Q suffix x, Q suffix g, or all the equations for Q suffix x, Q suffix g, and Q suffix x plus dx we have derived in the previous three equations. So from equation 1, 2, 3, write down from equation 1, 2, 3. From equation 1, 2, 3. So just put up the equation for Q suffix x plus dx. Okay, so in this particular equation we have just put up the equation for Q suffix x plus dx. Okay, we know that Q suffix x plus dx is equal to Q suffix x plus differentiation of Q suffix x with respect to x multiplied by dx. Okay, so that only we have replaced over here. So we will get the equation as Q suffix x plus Q suffix g is equal to Q suffix x plus differentiation of Q suffix x with respect to x multiplied by dx. Getting everyone? Is there any problem, any doubt, any question? Whether you understood or not, please let me know. Okay, is there any doubt, any problem, any question? Okay, so now here Q suffix x from the left hand side and Q suffix x from the right hand side will be cancelled. Q suffix x from left hand side and right hand side will be cancelled, and we will get the equation as Q suffix g is equal to Q suffix g is equal to differentiation of Q suffix x with respect to x multiplied by dx. Differentiation of Q suffix x with respect to x multiplied by dx. Okay, now put up the equation for Q suffix g and Q suffix x. Okay, we have derived the two equation number 1 and 2. 2 is related to Q suffix g, and Q suffix g is nothing but a multiplied by dx multiplied by small q suffix g. So small q suffix g is nothing but heat generation per unit volume per unit time. Okay, so area multiplied by thickness multiplied by heat generation per unit volume per unit time, that is small q suffix g is equal to differentiation of Q suffix x. So Q suffix x equation we know from equation number 1. So Q suffix x is nothing but minus k multiplied by a multiplied by dt divided by dx. Okay, so differentiation of that particular bracket multiplied by dx. Okay, getting everyone with me? Is there any problem, any doubt? Now further, this area is constant, so we can take out of the bracket. K is constant, so that we can take it out of the bracket. And so area from the left hand side and right hand side will be cancelled. Dx from the left hand side and right hand side will be cancelled, and differentiation will be provided to dt divided by dx. Okay, so what we have done, we have taken the minus k multiplied by a common, okay, or out of the bracket, out of the differentiation, because these are the constants which are not variables, so we have taken it outside the bracket. Now here dx area from the left hand side and area from the right hand side will be cancelled. Dx from right hand side and dx from the left hand side will be cancelled. Okay, then we'll get the equation as small q suffix g is equal to small q suffix g is equal to k multiplied by differentiation of bracket with respect to x, in the bracket dt divided by dx minus dt divided by dx. Write down. Is there any doubt, any question? Okay, have you written this? Now provide the differentiation. So it will be double differentiation of a temperature with respect to x. So we have transferred the k on other side. It will become q suffix g, small q suffix g divided by k will be equal to minus d2t divided by dx square. Q suffix g divided by k is equal to minus d2t divided by dx square. Now if you transfer this this particular term on this side, it will become plus. Okay, so further what we have done, we have just transferred this particular minus d2t divided by dx square on the left hand side, so it will become plus d2t divided by dx square. So we'll get the equation d2t divided by dx square plus qg divided by k is equal to 0. We'll get this equation. Okay, so we have derived this equation d2t divided by dx square plus qg divided by k is equal to 0. Okay, but this is for your understanding purpose. Okay, in another fashion we can get this equation by considering the Cartesian coordinate system, heat conduction in a Cartesian coordinate system. How it will possible? So we know that heat conduction, one dimensional steady state heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate system with internal heat generation. Okay, so this is 1D heat steady state heat conduction equation with internal heat generation. Okay, so this equation is one dimensional steady state heat conduction equation with internal heat generation. d2t divided by dx square plus qg divided by k is equal to 0. So we can derive this equation also by considering the general heat conduction equation in a Cartesian coordinate system. We have discussed the general heat conduction equation in a Cartesian coordinate system in this particular chapter only. So that particular equation is del square t plus qg divided by k is equal to 1 upon alpha multiplied by dt divided by d small t. That is nothing but the temperature variation with respect to x, second derivative of a temperature with respect to x, y, z, plus heat generation divided by thermal conductivity is equal to 1 upon thermal diffusivity multiplied by temperature change with respect to change in time, or change in temperature change with respect to change in time. Okay, so we can elaborate this equation with respect to coordinate axis as d2t divided by dx square plus d2t divided by dy square plus d2t divided by dz square plus qg divided by k is equal to 1 upon alpha multiplied by dt divided by d small t. So if you are going to consider one dimensional heat transfer, okay, one dimensional heat transfer, so two coordinates from this particular equation we have to eliminate. So if you consider that heat transfer only in a x direction, So in that case, we have to eliminate y and z coordinates. So we have to consider the second differentiation of a t with respect to x only. Okay. So the equation will get reduced to d2t divided by dx square plus qg divided by k is equal to 1 upon alpha multiplied by dt divided by d small t. Okay. And if you consider the steady state heat conduction, okay, as we have to consider the steady state heat conduction. So in that case, we know that steady state means what? There is no variation of a temperature with respect to time. So this term will become zero. This term will become zero, and we will get this equation. Okay. So similar of that. Okay. This equation will get over here also. Okay. So give this equation number A. Give this equation number A. Okay. So you can also perform this. So I have derived this. Okay. And you can write this from the general heat conduction equation in a Cartesian coordinate. Okay. General heat conduction equation in Cartesian coordinate is del square T plus Qg divided by K is equal to 1 upon alpha multiplied by dt divided by d small t. Okay. So once you elaborate that equation or uh, enlarge that particular equation, then we will get d2t divided by dx square plus d2t divided by dy square plus d2t divided by dz square plus qg divided by k is equal to 1 upon alpha multiplied by d capital D divided by d small t. Okay. So if you want to reduce that equation, and the heat transfer is one dimensional only, so in that case y and z coordinates will be eliminated, or variation of temperature with respect to y and z coordinates will be negligible or will not be considered. So in that case, the equation will reduce into one dimensional format, that is d2t divided by dx square plus qg divided by k is equal to 1 upon alpha multiplied by dt divided by d small t. So we know that if you want to consider the steady state heat conduction, there will not be a temperature change with respect to time. Okay, there will not be a temperature change with respect to time. So this term, change in temperature with respect to time, will be zero. Will be zero. So the right hand side will become zero, and we will get the equation once again: d2t divided by dx square plus qg divided by k is equal to zero. So give this equation number A. Give this equation number A. Okay. Is there any question, any doubt? So further derivation part we will see in the next lecture. Okay. So I think the plastic engineering lecture will be there. So please comment your roll numbers in the chat box as early as possible, and you can leave this particular lecture and join the plastic lecture.